Your number one hype gal here, and welcome to the weekly warm-up, your weekly dose to feel a little more confident and a lot more human. I'm Jess McDowell, and each week I'll share life updates, mindset shifts, product faves, the little things that help me stay grounded, energized, and moving and grooving. Whether you're heading out for a jog, sipping your morning coffee, or just need a midweek pick-me-up, this is your warm-up for living a real balanced life. So take a breath, shake it out, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the weekly warm-up podcast. I have a runner's high right now. I just got done running the worst half marathon of my life. I will admit that. And I will admit that it doesn't matter how elite you are as a runner. You're going to have good days and bad days. We're going to talk about that. But yes, I ran the worst half marathon of my life. I want to congratulate everybody, by the way, that did the Miami marathon and half marathon. I did not do it this year. I'm bummed because I always do it, but I had a prior engagement and I ran a half after that. So that way it made me feel good, but it was the worst. I didn't even know what was going on with my body. At one point, I thought I was going to throw up. My pace, I was trying to keep in the zone 2. It was almost essentially impossible for me to stay in zone 2. I was very much in zone 3, 89% of the time. The average pace was just 8 something. It was rough. It was rough. I blame it on probably hydration 100%. Even though I had hydration with me, I blame it on hydration because that goes into the day before you run and the day before you run and things like that. I blame it on fuel because I usually would run something like that earlier in the morning where I didn't get out until I would say like 11:30 in the morning, 11:30, 12. So I'm dealing with extra heat and obviously whatever I ate in the morning, which I did have my normal muffin or English muffin with peanut butter and all the stuff that was already out the window. So I had gels. It was just a mess, but we're here, still have the runner's high. I'm sucking back my Pedialyte Sport and I cannot wait to put my compression boots on soon. All right, we've got a full episode to discuss and catch up. So let's dive in. First of all, upcoming events and dates and things like that, because why not? Fabletics Miami Run Club. We are meeting basically every Sunday in February, except Sunday, February 15th, because I will be running in a race in Fort Lauderdale. I actually will be running in a race on February 14th and 15th in Fort Lauderdale on behalf of Celsius. Thank you, Celsius, for sponsoring. And then we also will be starting Saturdays in February, where there'll be 2 Saturdays. We're starting with 2 Saturdays in the month, see where it goes, but 2 Saturdays where we're doing track days. So all of that information, you know where you can find it on my Instagram page, as well as if you join the channel, there is a link, and join Strava as well, where I keep all of those things updated all the time. So I'm really excited about that. I have another race in March. That's the 305 half marathon. Yeah. So we'll be doing back-to-backs. I will say my toes are still good. I have not lost a toenail yet. Well, you don't lose them right away, but I haven't gotten any warning that my toes are going to start bruising and turning the colors. So I'm very thankful for that. Fingers crossed, but you know how it goes once you start doing all the back-to-backs. Other than that, this Friday, because this comes out Tuesday, and Tuesday is the 27th, this Friday, the 30th, there is a Sunrise Pilates class that you have to sign up for. Miami Yoga Club, yes, is hosting a 7 a.m. Friday morning Sunrise Pilates class at the Intercontinental Miami on behalf of Stay Fit 305. And what's really cool about that is I will be there. I will be taking the class, and I will also be handling. Okay, brain is malfunctioning. Maybe I need a Celsius, but I really don't right now. Can you all really hear my washer and dryer just going off in the background? Thank God for noise cancellation. And then I got Welker over here licking his paws like crazy, cleaning them and all, Anywho, squirrel. Yes, the sunrise Pilates. Normally it's sunrise yoga, but we've kind of switched it up a bit. Sunrise Pilates. I will be there passing out a little Fabletics gift and just introducing myself and chit-chatting about Run Club. So I cannot wait. So come and do that Friday 30th at Intercontinental. And then we have Run Club that Sunday. Yeah, we're just moving and grooving. All right, let's get into our serious topics here. You know me, I love learning about new things all the time. I am so big on to never not learning or never stop learning. If you feel like you've hit a peak where you don't need to learn anymore, we can't be friends. I have to say that. But I stumbled upon maybe my neuroplasticity is wrong. Maybe I need to go get some brain scans. I'm not surprised. But I stumbled across a article post and it's the 10 core principles of neuroplasticity. This is actually science backed. 1, use it or lose it. If you don't practice a skill, the brain trims the circuits that support it. Do a teeny version of the skill every day to keep the pathway alive. That's great. Yeah. So we need to practice a skill. The brain trims the circuits that support it if you don't. I can see that with anything. It's almost like muscle memory as well. So, for instance, athletes, when they take a break or retire, that muscle memory will always be there once they start back at it again, let's say. But if you're consistent, if you're cutting it out cold turkey forever, then I can see how your brain will trim that circuit, which is pretty cool. So, do a teeny version of the skill every day to keep the pathways alive. Number 2, use it plus improve it. Got it. Practice makes the underlying brain circuit stronger. Targeted practice increases performance. Tip, train the exact skill, not vague practice. Measure progress weekly. I had to double read that because practice makes the underlying brain circuit stronger. But targeted, okay, so if you're just practicing anything, we're making the underlying brain circuit stronger. But if we're targeting the practice, that's going to increase performance. So if I want to even talk about this in the sense of running, if you are only doing long runs where you're not doing track days or you're not practicing your endurance, you're not working with your breath work, you're not working with your speed work, then obviously you're not going to get better. I did the half marathon today. Tomorrow I'm doing track day. That's a targeted practice. Here we go. Specificity. Y'all, there's just some words. Specificity. You know what I'm talking about, okay? The nature of the experience determines the nature of the change. The brain adapts to what you specifically do. The tip is practice the exact movement, thinking pattern, or environment you want to improve. So this is kind of now honing in more. I feel like this is very redundant, which is ironic since we're talking about being specific. The nature of the experience determines the nature of the change. The brain adapts to what you specifically do. Okay, so you could even look at this more or less in your personal or your professional life or your relational life, friendships. The nature of the experience determines the nature of the change. The brain adapts to what you specifically do. So it's your choice to adapt to something that is going to better you, to advance you, to make you happy, to surround yourself with positive people, have good relationships. If you're doing that, then the brain will adapt to it. Practice the exact movement, thinking pattern, or environment you want to improve. So that almost goes into more or less of practicing with your brain of just repetitiveness as well. Whether it's you're saying it out loud, whether you're saying it to yourself quietly in the morning, journaling, whatever it is, but it's that consistency of rewiring your brain by saying it all the time and reminding yourself. So 4, repetition matters. Plastic changes require sufficient repetitions. 1 off exposure rarely, wait, let me just read this together. Plastic changes require significant repetitions. One-off exposure rarely produces lasting rewiring. Plastic changes require sufficient repetitions. One-off exposure rarely produces lasting rewiring. So repetition. Yeah, go figure. I mean, you can't just do something once and expect to be a pro at it. But no, yeah, repetition matters with anything in life. And I agree with that. The tip is build micro reps into your day, 5 to 10 focus reps multiple times. I do believe in that if you're trying to remember something or if you're trying to get better at something, that having the consistent reminder or reps, like they said, the 5 to 10 of those daily. So whether it is something physical, such as running, a fitness goal, whether it's health related, again, professional, personal, relational, having that time throughout the day to tell yourself and write it down 5 to 10 times will show you that repetition, or doing it 5 to 10 times, doing it in your brain, kind of doing, like I was talking about the muscle memory. Cool. Intensity matters. Stronger focus practice intensity tends to drive greater neutral change than low effort practice. Tip: use short, high quality sessions, quality over quantity. Intensity matters. Yeah. Stronger focus practice, so intensity, tends to drive greater neutral change than low effort practice. I can agree with that. Use short, high quality sessions. I'm trying to think of it in a neuroplasticity way. To me, the intensity matters. Stronger focused practices tend to drive greater neutral change than low effort practice. I feel like that has to do more with your mental side, not as much as your physical side. I mean, it is correct. You could relate it to physical, but if you're using short, high quality sessions, I can almost see how you would take time throughout the day and having that consistency of the 5 to 10 repetitions and making it to where you are constantly telling yourself whatever you want or the changes that you need. If you're wanting to go more or less, I'm just trying to think of I guess you could do that in a fitness standpoint as well. Use short, high intensity or high quality sessions. You wouldn't want to do that all the time. Intensity does matter. It also depends on your training load. You could look at it like this. Now that I kind of sat for a second, when you are doing any type of training, it doesn't mean it needs to be high intensity, as in going into an anaerobic state with your heart rate and you're just constantly moving and grooving, but having that high quality training session where you're focused on one type of modality, or you're focusing on the quality over the quantity. So you don't have to do a million different things. So I respect that. And that's the same thing with friendships and relationships too. Time matters. Different kinds of plasticity occur at different times. There are sensitive windows after learning or injury. Schedule early focused practice after learning, injury. Prioritize practice over days, weeks. Different kinds of plasticity occur at different times. There are sensitive windows after learning or injury. Schedule early focused practice after learning, injury, and prioritize practice over days, weeks. From what I'm reading from that, is saying that after you have had a window of learning something, that you would want to make sure that you're scheduling early focused sessions where you're relearning the same thing and you're continuing to, again, have that consistency and repetition. You need to schedule those early focused practices after learning. And then for injury, it's like the trauma, wound, of scheduling those times to go over that trauma wound and to basically heal yourself, plasticity. That way you can prioritize practice over days and weeks, and it can become better, quicker, and faster instead of avoiding. Damn, how many more of these do we have? You know what I'm going to do? Because we have literally there's about 4 more. And then I'm going to make sure to share this when this episode comes out on my stories. That way y'all can click on it and save it and look more into it. I love learning anything about the brain and the body. It's pretty cool, right? Next. We're going to continue on with some internal mental health, body positive topics, because again, this was really cool. Obviously, positive self-talk is beneficial when it comes to our mental health, perceive ourselves and how we treat others and how we go into our day, regardless of what it is. Did you know the mindset might be having a conversation with your immune system? Research suggests that how we talk to ourselves could play a role in our physical resilience. Interesting, right? So that our positive self talk could actually benefit our immune system. The concept comes from a fascinating field known as, oh, here we go. Let's do this. Let's see if I can crush this. Psychoneuroimmunology. Psychoneuroimmunology. First time, first try. It examines the two-way street between our nervous system and our immune defenses. When we face chronic stress, our bodies typically release higher levels of cortisol. While cortisol is helpful in short bursts, high levels over long periods can suppress immune function, increase inflammation throughout the body. Absolutely. The cortisol phase that we talk about, or when you go to bed and you wake up, aside from if you're eating unhealthy food or a lot of processed food or high sodium foods, but the thing about having cortisol face and allowing stress to take over your body is that you are more susceptible to having unhealthy gut. So you're going to be bloated a lot, which means then you're going to feel like that little like fupa. I hate saying it, but it's true. Or you're feeling more swollen in the jowl area. It's more of like a round face. I've had it before. I look back. It's crazy actually how it happens. And especially with women, this is just how we are. Like our bodies show our emotion like crazy, and it is what it is. We're just that fascinating. Data indicates that psychological resilience factors such as optimism and positive affect can help buffer the psychological stress response. Think of it as a form of protection. By potentially dampening the stress signal, these mental traits may help regulate inflammation, and support the body's natural ability to repair itself. Yeah, absolutely. I think we should just plan to have a little self talk ceremony and see how it changes. Because the thing about it is we look at self talk or positive self talk to change our mental health of how we perceive ourselves, how we feel confident, how we get over certain things, how we go into the world, how we want to achieve goals and manifest and get things, right? But we're not always thinking about how the positive self-talk is helping our bodies internally, our immune system, like our cortisol, like the inflammation. So we should be hyper aware right now. Let's do that for like the next week. Let's be hyper aware of when we start doing our self-talk, our positive self-talk, whether it's out loud to yourself, whether it's catching up with a girlfriend. What did I just say? That was highly embarrassing. Your gal pal. What was that? Yikes. Let's notice the positive self talk and how our body adjusts to it. I'm loving that so much. It's important to understand that this is not about forcing happiness or ignoring difficult emotions. Instead, it is about fostering a sense of personal control and kindness towards yourself. The review highlights that the practice, like medication or self affirmation, are practical ways to build this resilience. One study noted in the review even found that practicing self-compassion for just 20 seconds helped lower stress mechanics. I mean, we got 20 seconds, okay? We've got 10 minutes. I'm excited about this. I feel like we should catch up afterwards. Oh. I feel like we should definitely have a follow-up to see how this works for everybody. Okay, I wanted to talk about this once I name it. Y'all know I'm all about anti-aging. You know what I mean? That's my thing, my jam. I love it. And I always love anti. Can I help you? What do you want? Are you trying to come up? Here he comes. Hi. You're gonna make a what do you got to talk about? Okay. Welker has entered the chat. Oh, so we're about to talk about a subject that I really like. You want to talk about it? Because you like to run with me. So this could be our topic. I mean, are you going to lay down? You can take up over the couch. You can push me out. He's going to knock my phone out of my hand. He is a bully. He does this all the time because he wants something. It's not dinner time yet. Oh my gosh. Well, look, now the world knows. Now the world knows. Welker, now the world knows. Okay. As I was saying, I love anti-aging. I love anything that you can do to your body, your face, your internal body to stay young and healthy and look natural. So, obviously, I had to talk about this. 75 minutes of running or jogging per week can reduce biological age up to 12 years. I mean, not for nothing, I can see myself looking like I'm 21. I was mistaken for 28 recently. I ate that shit up. Don't get me wrong. I said, I am. I am 28. This is not my ID. I still use a fake ID. But 12 years? I mean, come on, guys. Scientists are looking at teeny protective caps on the ends of our DNA called telomeres. 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 I'm sorry. There are people in this world that are just too smart. So scientists are looking at teeny protective caps. Caps. Look what they look like. Caps. Wow. On the ends of our DNA called telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces that prevent fraying. Oh, don't get me started when shoelaces aren't properly taken care of like that with those little plastic tips when they fall off, or if the metal one's there and they adjust. I get livid, especially with running sneakers. These telomeres naturally get shorter as our cells divide over time, which is a key part of the aging process. Interesting, because we always talk about aging, and I always talk about anti aging when it comes to cellular health with supplements that I use. The interesting part, it seems we may be able to influence how quickly they shorten. This is where exercise comes in. Studies suggest that regular physical activity can help protect these telomeres. It does this by fighting off something called oxidative stress. Okay, yeah, that's going into almost the energy systems too, because we have oxidative stress when you're doing something, short bursts of energy, which is a form of cellular damage. Exercise appears to boost our body's natural antioxidant defenses and DNA repair systems. It also increases the production of molecules that are positively linked with telomere length. Hold on. So going back to, it does this by fighting off something called oxidative stress, which is a form of cellular damage. So there's different types of oxidative stress though, because when we're exercising, we do go into a state of where we're like an oxidative state, but that's more or less in the sense of energy efficiency. So it's interesting that there is something separate that would affect our cells. Exercise appears to boost our body's natural antioxidant defenses. Okay, I said that, DNA repair systems. It also increases the production of molecules that are positively linked with, okay. A 2023 study found that adults who jogged for at least 75 minutes per week had significantly longer telomeres compared to those who are mostly sedentary. The difference was calculated to be equivalent to an approximate 12-year difference in biological age. Y'all, you better get up and go right now. Get up and go. 75 minutes for 12 years? Sign me up. I will take it. Guess what? Next week, I'm going to look like I'm 18 again. Okay. Of course, this is one study, and it doesn't mean jogging is a fountain of youth. As I just said that, hilarious. Many factors can contribute to aging, and results can vary by individual. Yeah, but that's great. So if you have been saying your entire life that you are not a cardio person, you can't do it, it's not for you, it is. Everyone can do anything they put their mind to. That doesn't mean you're going to be perfect at it. For instance, I was always horrible at basketball. I'm 5'11". You would think that I would be good. No, horrible hand-eye coordination. All my sports, soccer, I have great foot coordination, great lower body coordination, running, as you can tell, but I don't have upper body coordination. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't go out and practice and make it happen. Y'all can run 75 minutes once or twice a week. Is it even saying once a week? 75 minutes per week. That's it. One time. If you can't do that, we've got real problems. Anyways, fun fact. I wanted to discuss because recently a gal pal and I were chatting on Instagram DM, just, hyping each other up, giving each other the love that, everyone deserves. And that's one of my favorite things to do. I will literally blow up your DMs, just hyping you up 24/7. And I'm so thankful that I have people that come to me and do the same thing. We were chit-chatting and the term imposter syndrome came up. And she was talking about how sometimes she feels imposter syndrome. Of course, I stopped that right away and told her, absolutely not. Go after what you want. You deserve it. And if this is your passion and your goals, whoever thinks differently is not your people. I think imposter syndrome, just like anything on the internet or in today's society, has been put into a box and in a category that is demeaning and that is putting people down because the people that are making up imposter syndrome aren't happy themselves. And then so we look at ourselves in the mirror and think, wait, am I like, is this an imposter syndrome? Like, am I an imposter? No. If there's something that you want to do and you're taking the appropriate steps to do it and you're learning and educating yourself and you're passionate about it, and those are the goals that you want, regardless of what it is in life, that's not being an imposter. That's you going after what your purpose is. And it's unfortunate that we have people like Sally Cream Cheeses in this world that will want to tell you, you know what? You might have imposter syndrome. Where are these people? Can we put them? I'm sorry, I just pissed off Wilker. Who are these people? Can we put them in a special cage somewhere else? Because, and that's that. He just got over me. Obviously, naturally, everyone is going to have a moment in their life where they think, am I an imposter? Is this an imposter syndrome? And I think you should look more at it like, am I comparing myself? And is this something about growth? And when you do that, then you kind of start to break things down and realize that it is just a comparison trap. It is just a growth trap. And you are literally in the phase where you're about to get over that hump, where you're about to get over that plateau and go into what you're really wanting. So look at it like that. And I've written also a few other things down because we are canceling imposter syndrome. So I wrote, instead of asking, who am I to do this? A better question is, what am I learning by being here? That shift takes it from self-judgment, comparison, like I was talking about, growth, to curiosity. Also, when I want to say this, there's a difference between promoting false advertisement or promoting yourself as a type of professional that has education and certifications and you don't, which is different. That's not imposter syndrome. That's just lying in general. Does that make sense? So if you are out there and you're acting as if you are a fitness professional, but you don't have any education and background in it, you don't have the certifications or anything, then yes, that's not imposter syndrome though. That's just lying. And then you're now putting out false information that you don't have backup for. So then you're falsely educating people that follow you. Completely different. Completely different. Basically, what I'm saying right here, too, I wrote, especially in careers such as fitness, creativity, leadership, you don't wake up one day suddenly feeling like the person, in quotes, like I'm that person. You grow into it while you're already doing the work. Exactly. So again, that's not imposter syndrome. That's you realizing this is your purpose, your calling, you really like it. I'm going to put the work in. I'm delusional. I will admit. I am delusional when it comes to most things in life, especially things that I want, especially things that I want to achieve, how I'm going to do it. My mom has always called me a pit bull when I bite down on something. Like when I want something, I bite down on it and I don't obviously let go until I get it. For me, if you're wanting to rewire, say you're delusional. I'm delusional in the best way. When you have such big goals and dreams that you want to get after, and it takes time. Not everything happens overnight. You don't want anything to happen overnight. What I was saying is sometimes when you have put yourself into a place where you are very, very passionate about it and you want it and you're starting to do the education, you're starting to learn, even if it is in relationships, marriage, kids, family, or friendships, your identity hasn't caught up to it. So for instance, you have this big goal that you're wanting to achieve, you're working on it, but you almost feel like your identity of who you are is not matching that. And that's not because you're an imposter. That just is that you're not feeling the confidence. You're not feeling confident in yourself enough that you can do it. And so that's where you're having to go back to what we've talked about earlier in this episode and rewire your brain for some positive self-talk. Wow. Did we just do a full circle? Podcast host of the year right here. I mean it. See, delusional. Starting today, I have canceled imposter syndrome. Period. Okay, so now this is just going to be like life, something that happened. It's just funny. Since we've just been doing a ton of edumacation, I figured I would talk about something that just happened. It's a first world problem. It's total complaint. Like I am complaining right now. And I know last week's episode we talked about complaining, but it just blows my mind how how business, okay, here, let's just do it. So Verizon, last week I got on chat with Verizon to get the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. I have now hit the stage where I believe it is a good phone. I never get the new phone when it comes out because I need at least a couple months for them to have recalls, for it to be a mess, for people not to like it, and then to fix the bugs. That's just how I've always been. So anyways, I set the bar. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the phone. I'm excited. I will refuse to go into a store because they try to get you with all these things. They talk to you for hours. You literally leave 4 days later. The salesman is just all about wanting you to get chargers and cases and lock screens and this. And then they bully you into thinking that if you don't get this charger, your phone's going to blow up if you keep that charger. I'm sorry, what? What are we doing right now? What are we doing? So I always go online and do chat because they're great, they're nice. I can sit and feel comfortable and multitask. We're good to go. So I do that. I take care of it. My building has obviously an address, but my building won't accept packages just to come in because of security and putting them places. So we have a company that is a third-party company that I have an address for that gets our packages and then individually delivers them to our places, our units outside our door. And so I always give that address. So I'm on the chat with this guy. I want to say it was a guy because it sounded like the chat was kind of a guy tone. Maybe don't come for me about that. Okay. Like don't try to cancel me. I figured it was a guy. Also, we started talking about like, I'm a creator. Then we became friends. And then he was saying how he's a music artist, which easily made me think then you're a male. I don't know why. That's very sexist. I'm so sorry. But long story short, this was the person. Very helpful, very kind, very thankful. Got the phone. I didn't get the phone, but I made sure I was like, please ensure you put this address as the shipping address. My billing address will be my actual address, my building, but I need it to be the shipping address. He got it. Yes, blah, blah, blah. Sign the paperwork. We're good to go. I'm going to get that new phone. So I have the UPS tracking and I'm seeing it's coming from Fort Worth, Texas, that I'm going to get it in a couple days. I'm super pumped. I've already like planned out, my new case and all that stuff. Well, then yesterday I go to open the tracking because I knew that it was out for delivery and it says return to sender. I'm thinking, well, that's not possible. Why would it return to sender? So then I looked at the tracking for the return to sender and it said it was in Miami. So I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe there was something going on internally. It shows that it's in Miami. I'm not going to worry about it at this second because it looks like it's going to be here. Well, yesterday I look and nope, now it's in Jacksonville and it's heading back to Fort Worth, Texas. So it is returning to sender. So I go on Verizon, start a chat with this person, and not for nothing, I love how happy go lucky they are, how they want to make sure you're taken care of. They give you these long blurbs, but I'm kind of the person where it's like, let me know you're working on it. I'll be right here and then come back to me. I don't need the fluff copy in between. How are you doing? How's your day? What are you up to? I promise you I'm taking great care of you. I promise you I'm going to get this done for you. At one point it was like, are you actually working on the solution or are you just trying to convince me that you are? Not to be rude, but so anyways, I'm asking how can this be resolved? You tell me, you are the expert. So the person comes back and says, well, unfortunately, because it's the return to sender and I wasn't able to intercept that to see if they would bring it back to me with the address, I knew that. When they were trying to do that first, I already knew that's not the way the world works, but I'm not going to try to tell you how to do your job. So I was just listening. So we're not able to do that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to transfer you to technical so they can refund you, and then we'll have to do another order. Okay, great. Will you do this for me? Yeah, no problem. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I actually can't do it over text message, like over the messages. I was like, okay, so why did you tell me you could? I said, you're telling me you're helping me and you're giving me that you're promising me solutions, but you're not able to do them. So I go, I'm going to just give the number a call that I see for this, and I'm going to take care of it that way. Thank you so much. So I give a call and I'm on the phone with the person. He understands what's happening. He needs to send me over to technical. I said, I knew that was coming. Let's get that going. Sends me over to technical. Lovely woman. She's going to help me. She's going to refund it. Blah, 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 blah. I get the refund email. Thank you so much. Now we're going to bring you back over to who you were speaking to or somebody else in the billing or order department so we can order your phone again. No problem, because I don't mind. I don't mind paying again. I know I'm going to get the refund. So I am back with the guy. He's going over everything. So you want exactly what you ordered the first time? Yep, I do, because it just happened like a couple days ago. So yes, I would like exactly what I ordered, please. Do you have any promotions and blah, blah, blah? Whatever you see, please handle. I don't think there was promotions. I don't think anything's really changing. I know my bill for one person, one phone, and Apple Watch is astronomical, but I know that Verizon's not going to work with me on that. So whatever, I'll pay it. But yep, let's keep going on with this. So then he gets back to me saying, well, unfortunately, I'm not able to make the new order because it looks like with the return, that usually takes 24 to 48 hours. And so then that's when it would be allowed to do, because it hasn't processed yet. So it's looking as if like you can't do a double order. So I could call you back in 24 to 48 hours and then we can work on getting you a new order. But then that takes about 24 hours. I said, sir, no. How are we going to get this order today, please? Honestly, need this new phone by Wednesday, the latest. I could live with Thursday, but I really need it because I've got things planned with this new phone. Okay, well, we could go back to technical and ask for a supervisor and see if they could override the refund so that way you can get your phone, your new order. I said, please do that. He goes, but if you want to do this, it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes. I've already been on here for an hour. I'm going to spare 10 to 15 minutes. I promise you. By the way, this is 8:00 at night. I'm in bed. I'm like, sir, I'm in bed. I'm just hoping that I don't pass out with you on the phone. But let's get this going. I truly appreciate you for helping me. I'm just frustrated. Whatever happens, comes back. Great news. We can do your order. Oh, praise Jesus. Thank God. I was terrified. I was just not sure if we were ever going to make it out. So then he starts to do the order and he sends me the link to click to review the order. And I said, and make sure you had updated the address that I told you that he wrote down. Yep, blah, blah, blah. So I go to click the link that you will show all the details, what you pay, blah, 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 you sign, whatever. I go down, I scroll down. The address is my building address. I said, unfortunately, I cannot accept this. I go, you didn't change my address like I asked. I go, so we're going to run into the same problem that I just ran into. I go, can you please update the address? He said, oh my gosh, yes, I can do that. I'm sorry. Are you wanting to cancel the order? No, sir. No. I'm asking you to update the address because it's not the right shipping address. Can you please do that for me? Yep, sure. Goes to update it. Updates it, sends me the other link. I go to click. I go, oh, it's starting to look right. Wait, you forgot what would be like your building number. So I have like a code. I said, you forgot the code. He goes, oh, well, it won't show up there. I go, no. I'm not playing that. I go, the address should be able to be the full address. I'm not going to accept that it's somewhere hidden in an alternate universe because look where we're at right now. I said, would you please make sure you add that code? Even if you can't add it as an apartment, because I get it, it's a code, put it in the full address as itself on one line, please. I just truly appreciate it. He said that he could do that, but he doesn't know if he can put in the letters with the numbers. I said, to your best ability, would you mind please trying to do this? So he goes back to do it, comes back, and it's finally right. Oh, yes, it's finally right. The address was right. It showed beautifully. He knew that he could do that. I think he just knew that he messed up. It's okay. Shit happens, whatever. Okay. So I accept, blah, blah, blah. Nice doing business with you, whatever. At this point, I mean, we're basically besties. So we're talking, whatever. And I'm just like, this is crazy. I was like, I just can't believe that I just spent hours having to get a new phone sent to me over just a shipping. It's just a phone, guys. And he's like, I was like, thank you so much. You're the best. And he's like, okay, great. And he's like, will you do one thing for me before you hang up? And I'm like, oh, here we go. He's going to ask me to take a survey. He's going to ask me to take a survey. Yep. No problem. I'll take your survey. I was like, yeah, no, sure. And he's like, no. He's like, do you mind doing one thing for me before we end the conversation? At this point, I'm just like, what, do you want my kidney? What would you need? Yes, I'm happy to do it. He goes, will you just please smile for the rest of the day? I started howling. I started cracking up. I said, you would. I go, you got me. I go, I am laughing, but I'm going to bed. He's like, no, I know. Because I think he was probably in India or something like that. But yeah, what a gem. So anyways, that was my first world problem. So hopefully I will have the new phone in the next few days. What are the products of the week going to be? Okay, I'm only going to have 2 products of the week because I just think it's hilarious. The things that I find in my car are insane, to be honest with you. I could run multiple marathons just with items in my car. My purse always has a Celsius, meat sticks, LMNT. I've got running gels everywhere. I got my running sneakers. I've got tennis rackets. I've got everything and anything for literally activities. I have supplements, insoles in my car. I have Celsius water bottles. Anyways, in a purse of mine, I pull out these 2, which I cannot believe they've just been literally in my car for years. And I remember I used to use them, and my mom will get these for me, and then I just forget, but it's instant cooling towels. So all you have to do is put them in water and they like snap and they are cool and you can reuse them. So Serena Williams is on it and it's by Mission. I'm really pumped because I'm going to be using those up. And then my mom gave me this Boost Oxygen. So basically what you do is you huff it and it puts more oxygen in your body so you can perform better and run faster and things like that. So I am going to try it out. Ooh, I might try it out track day tomorrow. I'm going to try it out, see how I like it. And if it works, maybe I will be popping one of these in my running vest for my races. I just need to know, like, are you allowed to use these? I mean, they have to be legal. It's not like it's a performance enhancement drug. But either way, freaky fast. I'm excited. We just finished the episode. Love you all. And that's that.